Double up on the clutch. Here comes Motoka.
Kia ora, and let's get into it. Where Hayden is doing some battery research with contemporary hippie David McLeod and his sun-powered Tesla. However, I hear getting the keys off Dave is near impossible.
Morning.
How are you?
How's things?
Yeah, really good.
David, is it?
It is.
Hayden. Good to meet you.
See you. Yeah, thanks so much.
Nice part of the world here, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
I thought it was sunny Hawke's Bay.
Well, it is supposed to be, and that's what we count on. That's what makes these things here work. But
That's the point you probably needed a bit, don't you?
yeah. And the comment's been made that the car hasn't been cleaned, unfortunately. But
It's a nice looking set of wheels, though.
yeah, it's good. But if you want something with some decent ability to get around the countryside,
Yeah, sure.
then that's about it.
What range are you getting from the Tesla?
So about 380 k's is what's quoted.
Depends how heavy you're on the right foot.
Yeah, well, that's right. What I find is going up the hills uses a lot of power. Going down the hills tends to get the power back.
Oh, so it's got quite good regeneration.
Yeah.
Oh, so what made you go EV anyway?
So, I mean, it just made perfect sense. I worked out I was spending $350 a month on petrol, and that was with an ordinary IC car, and that was doing everything it was supposed to do, but it just seemed like money down the drain, basically. Yeah. I'm personally of the view that we should be as renewable as possible. I like the idea of being self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Self-sufficiency means...
Yeah. And obviously you've got the infrastructure here to support that as well.
Yeah, so 2014, we initially put 16 panels up.
Yes.
And that gave us 4 kilowatts, and then subsequently put another 4 panels up. That gave us the 5 kilowatts. We're still generating today, even though it looks like you wouldn't get anything, but it's still happening.
Yeah.
And what I do then is match that with a 2 kilowatt charger for this, and then effectively this becomes the battery.
Sure.
So there's no battery
backup.
backup.
The storage device.
That's the storage. Yeah. So that's the storage device. So basically, I'm making the power. Anything left over goes to any of these houses here.
Yes.
I get 8 cents. They get 25 cents. So suddenly there's a 3-tier markup on what I'm making. So logically, the more I can consume by pouring it into the car or into the house or into backup batteries, just makes perfect sense.
But a lot of that's trying to educate people as well, isn't it? Because people just initially look at the outlay cost of an EV car, which is at the moment substantially higher than your normal cars.
Yes.
And they go, well, why spend the extra money? But they don't look at the big picture of, but obviously you did that all yourself. You obviously sat down and decided the petrol is costing too much. There's got to be a better way.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm a greenie. I like the idea that I'm offsetting my carbon footprint.
Yeah. But what about to drive? You quite like driving it?
Oh no, this is stunning to drive.
Smooth, quiet.
Oh,
instant torque.
I mean, it's 310 kilowatts or something. It's capable of 210 kilometres an hour. It's
not that you've tested that.
No, of course not. In fact, I've got it speed limited at the moment, and all the weight pretty much is down low.
Yep.
And as you can see, with the 21-inch wheels, low-profile tyres, the thing's just like a slot car when it comes to, cornering and performance from that point of view. So nothing's really a problem.
Geez, you're gonna let me approach from the driver's side?
Well, you're allowed to sit in it.
Sit. Yeah, I hear getting a drive of it's quite difficult.
Yeah.
When you're driving, you often driving the targets, eh? In terms of you got key numbers that you want to drive to if you know you got to get somewhere.
Yep. But look, most of the time you don't need to worry about any of that stuff. I mean, if this car's set on 90% at the moment, I haven't noticed in the year that I've had it, I haven't noticed any deterioration in the performance of the battery at all.
Okay.
And so fundamentally, I think that the more you use the car and you operate between those sensible parameters, the better off the battery is going to function.
Sure.
What kills a battery, and this is what they've discovered in California, is when you charge it up to 100% and then you leave it to sort of simmer at that point, and the battery gets hot. That's the same effect of charging it up to 110%. This car, you can set it for various heights. When I drive on here, I've set it to very high, and of course what it does is that the GPS captures that information.
Yes.
So every time you drive on, the car will automatically go to very high.
Looks like there's quite a few lifestyle properties around here as well, is there?
It's a nice little spot with vineyards everywhere.
Right, so you've got the golf course across the road?
Golf course, yeah, which of course us motorcyclists always figure that golf courses should be turned into motocross tracks.
Lots of little sort of gadgets and screens, and take a bit to get your head around all that, does it?
Yeah, well, it's all Linux-based, control systems. Everything is managed off that. So you can't turn the lights on and off, you can't adjust the air conditioning, you can't even open the boot without interacting with that system. I'm an electrical engineer, so it's stunningly interesting from my point of view.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
It's quite cool, eh?
You must get a few looks when you drive.
Well, you do, yeah, and you can't stop and plug in without people coming up and talking to you about it. How long does it take to recharge? What's it like to drive? How much did it cost? I think there is a term that has been bandied around called electrical anxiety, which is the fear of not getting to your intended destination with the amount of power you have available. But what happens is you rearrange your life to suit.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll charge it up here, drive to Taupo, plug in there, have a cup of coffee, catch up on the emails that have arrived in that period, go back to the car, drive to wherever I have to go, plug in, go and do my job, and then just do it in reverse home. So it's a different mentality to a petrol car. So you just rearrange your life to suit.
Actually, it must be before Christmas last year. They had one of the Model Teslas that did that whole dancing thing with the doors and the bonnets and the music. And your one doesn't do that?
Not yet. Whenever they release a software, and then sometimes they will give you features that are just temporary features on the screen that they have dancing and your car turns into a submarine, or some other bizarre thing happens with just as a bit of a laugh.
Something like this is more sophisticated nowadays in a rally car.
Yep.
You go, well, that's not right.
No, it's not right.
So
it should be leading the way.
It needs to change.
Yeah.
We're going to try and change that anyway.
It would just.
That's the beauty of New Zealand. Bit of Kiwi ingenuity and Kiwi can-do attitude.
Yep.
Anything's possible.
Coming up on Motoka.
Come and check out the boombox something.
Yeah, we're a car club, but we're family oriented.
Just trying to put New Zealand on the map.